I'm excited to get into today's teaching. We have been in a series essentially on team motivation. My backdrop isn't as pretty as last week's backdrop at the beach. Um, Mike thought I was going to say because he was in the backdrop. But I'm excited to continue today with part 3. And I believe this will be the last one that we do. All right. So we're going to go all the way through point 25 this time. And let's go ahead and wrap this up. Again, I want to give credit to where credit is due with Indeed.com. This is where I got the teaching from. So, all right, team motivation part 3. Maybe last, but surely not least. All right. Number 16. If you need 1 through 15, be sure to go back, watch the links that I provide, which is where most of the lounge members view the teachings at, are on the links that I send out on the Slack channel. So be sure. You are also welcomed to share just one link with maybe 2 friends. Okay. If you find one of these sessions brings somebody value, then you have the permission to share those with a couple friends, but be sure that you just, let them know that this is not to be shared publicly. This is a member-only access program. Okay, number 16, share your vision. If you know me, I am a man of the Bible. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will be till the day that I pass, and then I'll be worshiping the word manifest at the right hand of the Father in heaven. If you know me, I'm all about that life. But Habakkuk 2, it's a book in the Bible, chapter 2. It talks about how we need to write the vision and make it plain. So we've talked about writing the vision before, probably quite a bit here in the lounge, and it's something that I'm incredibly passionate about. It needs to be clear and concise and captivating when you write the vision. But it says write it and make it plain so that he who reads it may run with it. So it is so important as a leader to share the vision and share it very clearly. Sometimes it's not that leaders have a lack of vision. They have lack of communication skills when it comes to communicating your vision. Or a lack of writing skills. And so we need to be sure that we write it and we make it plain so that, as the scripture says, and I've seen this time to time in reality, that he who reads it may run. So, in other words, vision is the thing that attracts a team. It magnetizes, it rallies people around the vision. It makes it clear, in what they're running with, in the direction that they're heading, and what they are going to accomplish being a part of the vision. So we want people to run with the vision, and before they run with it, they have to read it. But before they read it, we have to write it. We have to communicate it. So we need to be sure, backing all the way up, that we know how to communicate the vision by having a clear, concise, compelling, captivating vision. Okay, please excuse the alliterations. If you know me, I'm a preacher. I put everything with the same letters. Okay, so share your vision. And then I've been a part of staffs, and I've seen many people part of teams to where they just really don't know where they're heading. Maybe the leader hasn't made it clear. And so you want to be sure that you give no outs to your team members like they didn't know the vision. So make it very clear. Share your vision. It fuels team motivation. I could talk vision for the next 16 hours probably with you and the importance of it, but I'm going to go ahead and move on for time's sake. We got 9 other points to get to. All right, number 16, share your vision. Again, this is team motivation part 3. Number 17, discuss advancement opportunities. This is in regards to your team members, your staff. Discuss advancement opportunities. I'm consistently and constantly telling my assistant, which is, you know, 85% of my staff right now with my company, with my coaching consulting company, that is, I'm consistently talking to her about the future. I'm casting vision, but I'm also casting vision not just for the organization, because you never want your team members and your staff to feel like they're just doing your thing. You want to talk vision on how they can advance, on how they can progress, how they can grow within the umbrella of the ultimate vision, the organization. So you always want to be sure that the organisms within the organization feel valued, um, and that they truly come first. Because again, leadership is not about gaining more followers or gaining more staff members to do your thing. Leadership is about uh, developing other leaders. You know, cultivating what God has put in them, growing them in their destiny, and stewarding them with an open hand, knowing that they might not be there forever. People are the greatest investment you could ever make. Whether or not they stay with your company for the next 47 years or not, they are your greatest asset and investment and legacy. Okay, so getting back on track, discuss advancement opportunities. So I'm telling Leah, my PA, on how someday soon she'll be overseeing, team members if she continues on the trajectory that she's on, performance and etc. I'm talking to her about just you get my point. Just other opportunities in the future. Shall she continue again on the same trajectory? Because we don't want to promise anything too soon. If I'm talking to Leah about, for example, advancement opportunities and what's gonna happen, and then suddenly her performance drops, I've now shot out this promise that I have to recall. So you got to make very clear that you have no doubt they're going to continue on an incredible trajectory, but also that's what it takes to advance. Okay. All right. Number 17. Number 18. Set SMART goals. I wish I would have capitalized here the word SMART, because SMART is an acronym. It's a bit of an old school acronym, and maybe you've heard it before, maybe you've studied it. If you've taken any type of organizational leadership classes, courses, you might have seen this set up in such a way. I've studied it in leadership. I've studied it when it came to my coaching certification. SMART stands for, SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. I'm going to go through that again. Let's start with number 1. S, specific. Need to set specific goals for your team. Specific goals, not a vague, generalized goal. Because sometimes I've done this and sometimes I still do it. I assume that they know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've been around me for any period of time, you've probably heard me talk about how assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So setting specific goals, because I've communicated vague goals, and the team member or staff member thought that they hit it and killed it, and they were way off in left field. Is it the team member's fault, or is it my fault? As a leader, I have to take that blame because I wasn't specific. I didn't clarify. I didn't inspect what I expect, right? So specific goals for your team. Okay, number 2, measurable, M, measurable. Things to be measured along the way. Okay, this all goes hand in hand with the last. Measurable goals. Goals that you can continuously gain status on, tangible. Things that allow you to have conversation and dialogue about it. Measurable goals. Setting, maybe putting some certain timestamps on it. Measurable. I'm able to measure it. Okay. That it is successful if you hit this with the goal. It is diligence and excellence if you hit this level. Maybe communicating some type of tier platform with it all. Anyways, number 2, measurable. Number 3, attainable. Things that are able to actually be reached. Okay, realistic, right? Attainable goals. If you're like me, sometimes I can live in the clouds a little bit, and I'm like, let's break the internet, let's take over. And then when that post or something doesn't go viral and you get 37 views on it, you know, your team might feel like a failure. And so you don't want to do that. Anyways, attainable. I could talk about that for quite a while. Okay. My chair is squeaking on me. It's getting on my nerves. Number 3, attainable. Number 4, relevant. Okay. Things that actually have to do with the vision, relevant. Does it really matter? Okay. Is it in alignment with the vision? Okay. You know what? That is not my chair squeaking. That is a wasp on the other side of the window. That's what that is. ADD moment. Okay. Relevant. Number 5, time bound. Now, I'm very passionate about this one. Deadlines. Give your team a deadline. It helps them so much. It helps you so much. It helps you know how to plan, how to strategize, how to like when to expect it. Okay. Give them a deadline. When I was writing my devotional book, when I was writing this, I wish I kept the floppy board in here to show you. I listed out every chapter, every little bit of the project I wanted, and I put deadlines beside it. And it held me accountable to those, to the deadlines. Having this big sheet up in front of my face with everything listed out. There were like 50 something items, and I hit every deadline because it was in front of me. I was accountable to a time-bound goal. Okay. And so it's just best if you give your team a deadline. Okay. All right. And you should do this for you personally too. We could talk about that much more, but set SMART goals. It's smart. It is wise. I wrote down the acronym here so I could get it right. It is wise to set SMART goals. Okay. Moving on for time's sake. Number 19. The 19th contributor to team motivation is going out to lunch. This is something that I am passionate about. Even if your organization or you personally might have to invest in that, the ROI, the return of investment is so great, much greater than the number amount that you put in and the time commitment that you put in. Going out to lunch, it allows you to. It's not only team motivation, but relational equity with the team. Because if you're anything like me, I am so content with my head down in my computer, at my notepad, at work all day long. I am driven by achieving. I'm driven by completing a task and executing on what I began. One of my weaknesses is the time commitment that I put into relationships with maybe my team or my staff. And that's not natural for me. It's not that I don't like them or love them, because matter of fact, I only want to work with people, and I'm only going to hire people that I actually like, because if we're going to do this thing for the long haul and have fun doing it, I'm going to hire people that I like. But the relational part is a weakness of mine because I am such an achiever when it comes to work task. And quite frankly, it is a little bit more sacrificial and costly if I pull away from work tasks, because I feel like my work tasks are now going to begin to fall. My execution, my accomplishments, my achievements rather, in achieving the task that I've started is going to fall. I'll feel that constantly if I'm going to hang out with somebody, but There are some people like me who is head down in work and driven by work, the work of it all. And then there are those who only want to hang out. And I think that these people and these people need to team up and balance each other out a little bit. Doesn't have to necessarily be 50-50, because if you're always doing this, then you'll have a team around you who don't like you or who don't know you. If you're always doing this, then you won't get any work done. Okay. If I could give a percentage, it would be, maybe you, if you are all relational, you go 40% work. If you are all, 60% relational, if you are all work, go 40% relational, and you're 60+% work. But okay, I get off topic a little bit. I have so many thoughts going through my head. These numbers are like triggers for me. So I have a lot of thoughts regarding all this, but we have 12 minutes left. Okay, let's get into this. Going out to lunch, it fuels team motivation. Okay. It's having things like staff days. It's a big deal. They are so valuable. Staff days, staff lunches, team lunches. You could even say going out to coffee, just hanging out, asking them how they're doing. In a prior point on a prior teaching, we talked about just the importance of knowing them personally, knowing their family, if you can, if it's scalable that way, or at least having some type of structure to where those who work directly, underneath you, them personally. It just goes a long way, and it wins in the long term. Okay, so going out to lunch, number 19. Number 20, thank employees. I talked about it last week, giving them some sort of shout out on social media, thanking them publicly on the platform with a mic in your hand, whether it's figuratively or literally, but thanking employees. And then maybe some sort of incentive, giving them a gift, some type of honorable gift. My assistant went on vacation a few weeks back. I sent her a little gift just to say thank you. God bless you. You're awesome. I posted about her a couple of days back. I know some of you saw it, and thank you for engaging with that. I want to be sure that my employees, my staff, my team knows that I'm grateful for them, and they play just as much of a part of this that I do. Okay, that's number 20. All right. Let's see. I think my Wi-Fi is acting up here. Number 21, support new ideas. Support new ideas. A couple things. One, your team needs to know that they do have a voice. It's not just you. It's a team effort. Okay. Secondly, especially if that's their expertise, we must acknowledge as humble leaders that they might know more than we do regarding that department. So supporting new ideas, whether it's financially, whether it's, supporting them or sponsoring them to go to a further training, but supporting new ideas, your team needs to know that you trust in them and believe in them. Okay. And of course that they've shown themselves trustworthy. Number 22, celebrate milestones, maybe birthdays, anniversaries, having some type of system that reminds you when it is their anniversary or kid's birthday, etc. Even if it's literally hiring somebody, for an hour a week to just remind you on a weekly basis of these things, but celebrate milestones. It just means a lot to them personally. And again, it matters. Okay. Number 22. Number 23, set an example. Set an example. This might be the greatest point of everything. I don't have time to really get into a lot of teaching on character and just how we ought to set an example, but be the leader that you want to see in every area of your life. Be the man or woman that you want to, one thing I tell myself is I want to be the man, of character, the man of God that, maybe someday I would want my future daughter to marry. Right now I'm going to be the associate pastor that one day I might want to have if the Lord, has me be in that seat. But I'm going to be the leader that I want to hire, that I would want to attract in my company. So set an example. This just matters so much, so much. And maybe you can hear a whole book of teaching in my emphasis on this point, but please just set an example. Don't expect from your team members what you are not willing to exhibit. I'm going to say that again because it was just that good. Don't expect from your team members what you are not willing to exhibit yourself. That is hypocrisy. Oh my goodness, that is hypocrisy at its finest. That is duplicity at its finest. And we're better than that. We need to be leaders that set an example. Okay. Number 24, encourage learning. Encourage learning. So for me, I'm setting the example, and you see some of these certificates behind me, and I'm in school right now, a couple different schools. I'm constantly trying to learn, take courses, take classes. I am setting the example with reading, with listening to podcasts. And I don't need any of these certificates behind me to do what I do. But hey, I want to set the example, if anything. And I love learning. I love learning. I love learning. I love taking courses, maybe even that some of the philosophy I disagree with, because it solidifies within me who I am and my convictions and my ethical code. And so I want my whole wall to be filled with just random certifications because I'm passionate. And if I'm going to encourage learning to my clients, and if I'm encouraging learning to you and saying, hey, let's grow this lounge, and I'm trying to tell you to encourage learning, I need to be sure that I am the CLO of this organization, the CLO, Chief Learning Officer. I have this conviction in me that or this thing in me, it's not unhealthy, it's just fun. But this thing in me that says, I'm not going to let anyone in my organization or any of my clients outlearn me. It's just this fun thing in me. And if you do, then that's awesome. I just want to make sure that the bar is set high and that I'm leading by example when it comes to learning myself, encouraging that growth mindset that we talk about so often. So encourage learning. But you need to believe in it so much that you are willing to pay for their courses. Maybe having some type of this is what I'm doing right now in my company's budget. I am allocating X amount of funds to be able to support education, further education to my staff members, and that's something I'm real passionate about. Okay. Last but not least, foster creativity. Foster creativity. I want to put a sub point on this and say foster the culture of innovation. Cultivate the culture of innovation. We don't want to be people who just replicates. We want to be people who innovate. Okay. If you know me, I love breaking boxes. Now, I honor what is. I take principles and certain other powers of what is and what was. And I love taking those fundamental and foundational things and breaking the box and innovating. I think that we are in an incredible day and age. I think that we're in the best opportunity in modern American history than we have been. I mean, even since the Great Depression, we are literally handing out checks to people, like thousands of dollars, And so I think we are in an incredible time to start something, to innovate, to invest in something, a dream on your heart. I think it's just an amazing time. And so, and I know some people on this call right now, Alexandra, I know you are investing in your dream. You have a concept that you are going for, and I commend you for that. And I know many other people who are going to watch this, you would agree with this. But going back to when it comes to your leadership, when it comes to team leadership, fostering creativity, we have one practical way to do this, is I do this thing called a yes meeting. And there are no no's in this yes meeting. Any idea is possible. Now, whatever we land on, of course, this is when we go to the whiteboard, the think tank, and put practicals to it and get a plan. But there is about an hour or so allocated for yeses. I want to, like, so let's say we're doing an event. I want to get a helicopter and I want to parachute out of this helicopter and I want to swing into, the auditorium. And when I get on the platform, I don't want to touch the platform. I want to have a little jetpack and I want to levitate, and then I want other people to fly, all this just crazy, whatever thoughts. My point is everything in that meeting is like, yes, we can do it. We can do it. And then we get at the whiteboard and then we, think about, oh, can we actually do this? What does it actually look like? And that's just maybe a metaphor to what your innovation could cultivate. Okay, so foster creativity, have these yes meetings, dream big, allow people to have crazy thoughts. One more story and then we'll be done. We used to have this intern. His name is Josiah. This is years ago. And I would be in certain meetings with other interns, and it was like we were at just a block. Like we couldn't think outside the box. And it was like every idea that we shot out, it was all replicating. I mean, it was so stagnant. And, if you continue to do things the way you've always done them, for the most part, I mean, I believe the words of a dying organization is, we've always done it this way before. So you want people in the room that know how to think outside the box, that are innovative. And maybe that's not you, and that's okay. This is why you have team. If you can't think outside the box, it is okay. Try to, but this is why you have a team. So I would get this intern in the room named Josiah, because Josiah had the dumbest ideas. I mean, ideas that would almost like would never work, or they were so silly, sometimes completely audacious, and sometimes arbitrary. I mean, just wild. But here's the thing. I always wanted him in the room because he always broke the box, and his crazy ideas always led us to a better idea. My point is, because I valued cultivating creativity, I would get outside the box thinkers in the room, and we would just shoot all the shots that we could. And then eventually we landed on this very creative, innovative idea that took us to the next level. You want, with your team, to foster creativity, encourage creativity, display creativity, invest in creativity, resource for creativity, hire creativity, right? You get my point? We want to foster creativity in our organization. For example, I'll use once again Alexandra for this example. She has this vision on her heart, and she is being intentional in setting up hangouts with myself, because we can get in the room and kind of brainstorm and get creative and think outside the box. And here's the thing, even if she leaves my office saying, I didn't like any of PT's ideas, even if, you know what, I'm completely okay with that, because if she walks out more solidified in who she is from my bad ideas, I think that I still did my job. If you disagree with teachings that I do in the lounge, or one-on-one teachings that I give you in personal coaching, or even, when it comes to pastoring, now if it's biblical, of course, we can't disagree with truth. But if it's just ideas or philosophy, if I've challenged your thought enough and you've considered my challenge, and you are now solidified more in your own personal conviction or philosophy, that I'm still completely content, baby. And you and you becoming more of who you are, right? I still think I did my job as an instructor, as a coach. And so that's why I like provoking thought and challenging thoughts. Sometimes I'll challenge them on purpose. Even if I agree with you in the first place, I'll still challenge it. And we can still get back to the same place that we started. And now, because we challenged the thought, we are even more solidified in our original thought and more confident. There have been times I walked in meetings not so confident in my idea. We challenged it, thought it through and through, thought around it, thought about 20 other ideas, came back to the original idea. And suddenly the idea that I walked in with that I was not so confident in, that I was insecure in, I left that meeting super confident, willing to invest whatever I had to invest in it because we challenged it and thought it through. Anyways, number 25, foster creativity. All right, family. Well, hey, thanks for hanging today. It is 8:33. Do we have any questions today whatsoever? If so, of course, I love to be a resource to you. If you have any questions after we close the call, you can ask them on Slack, or if it's a personal question, feel free to text me, email, whatever works for you best. Any questions today? If not, no big deal. I want to encourage you to continue to check out the other resources that we have. I want to give this quick plug today because it is launch day for something I'm so excited about, and it's been long coming. I have partnered with an incredible ministry for Christian female influencers, Christian female communicators. And if that is you, then I encourage you to check out this ministry called Declare. I posted about it on my coaching page. Please go check it out. They are offering right now free connect calls, free coaching calls for 30 minutes. And then they from there will encourage you on the next step to take. But if you know anybody who is a Christian, specifically Christian, female influencer, communicator, leader, or something that, they have a dream on their heart, I encourage you to check out at We Are Declare on Instagram, or go to their website today. But anyways, that is an incredible resource. I am one of the network coaches for that, and I'm so blessed to be able to have this partnership and collaboration with them. For my other resources, tylerwooten.com. Let's see, Alexandra, did you raise your hand here? Are you saying amen, or are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Hopefully this question isn't too off topic, but do you know when the applications for the August internship's gonna open up?
I will say mid-July.
Okay.
I don't have a specific date, but early. I'm going to aim for probably about 1 month from now, early July. There's a chance that it'll be mid-July. I don't see it being anything after mid-July. So great question. Thank you for asking. Yeah, early to mid-July. Awesome. Well, all right, family. We'll have a wonderful, wonderful, and productive and fulfilling and blessed week. Hey, I'll see you on Monday. Love you.